In a social media landscape with tons of different platforms, content and competition, developing a clear strategy for planning carefully can help you focus on the efforts that will best serve your goals. This part of the course will explore these first two pillars of social media marketing: strategy and planning and publishing. First, we'll cover how to develop a successful strategy for your social media campaign, including how to define your goals, identify your target audience, choose social media platforms, build your brand identity on social media, and select content types and formats that reinforce your brand. Then we'll get into how to effectively plan and publish your social media posts. We'll discuss how to determine the frequency and timing of posts, implement real-time marketing, create and use a social media calendar, and utilize social media management tools. Ready to go? Meet me in the next video. Before getting started on any social media marketing campaign, you need to develop your strategy. Your social media strategy is like a guide that tells you what you're trying to accomplish, how you're going to accomplish it, and how you'll know when it's been accomplished. And the first step in developing your social media strategy is setting goals. In this video, we'll discuss why it's helpful to set goals and how to use the SMART method to define your goals. Setting goals for your campaign is important for several reasons. First of all, goals hold you accountable. By defining the goals of your social media campaign, you make yourself accountable for accomplishing them. Goals can guide your budget. Once you've set your goals, you can define the actions you'll need to take to achieve them and determine the cost of each. Goals can also help you measure your success. Analyzing data related to your goals can help you measure how effective your efforts are and identify areas for improvement. Common social media marketing goals include building brand awareness, managing brand reputation, sales and lead generation, increasing community engagement, increasing web traffic, and gaining customer and competitor insights. Determining which of these goals to prioritize in your strategy depends on the goal of your business. Social media goals should align with your company's overall marketing objectives. This helps you prove the value of your work and gain support from stakeholders. Once you've established what the general goal of your social media marketing strategy will be, you need to make them SMART. The SMART goal setting method can help you define and measure the success of the goals of your campaign. As we discussed earlier, SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's discuss each of these words in terms of your social media campaign's goals. What does it mean for a goal to be specific? Specifying exactly what you want to achieve helps you determine when you've achieved it. Let's say you want to improve brand awareness for your business on social media. That is such a broad goal that it's hard to pinpoint what exactly you're trying to accomplish. Are you aiming to increase your number of followers, or are you striving to increase likes, shares, and mentions? Which platform are you targeting? Answering questions like these will help you make your goals more specific. Next, your goal should be measurable. A goal is measurable when you can determine objectively that it has been met. You can tell if a goal is measurable if you can answer how much, how many, and how will I know when it's accomplished. To make your goal measurable, determine what metrics you want to use. Going back to our brand awareness goal, let's say the metric you want to track is the number of followers you have on Instagram. An example of a related measurable goal might be to increase your followers on Instagram by 15% over the last quarter. Once you've made your goal specific and measurable, you need to determine whether it's attainable. An attainable goal is realistic given any constraints. Is there anything that could get in the way of increasing your Instagram followers by 15%, such as a lack of time, budget, or other resources? Remember, you want to set goals that are a little challenging in order to encourage growth. Next, decide if your goal is relevant. Does it make sense to try to reach this goal? Think about how the goal lines up with your company's other marketing goals, priorities, and values. A relevant goal will benefit your business. For example, if you're a company that wants to attract a younger demographic, then it makes sense to try to increase your followers on platforms like Instagram, whose largest audience is between the age of 25 to 34 years. Finally, you need to make your goal time-bound. This means your goal will have a deadline. Making your goal time-bound helps you plan your schedule and set milestones. So your final brand awareness goal, made smart, might be something like, by the end of the quarter, increase followers on Instagram by 15% over last quarter. Great! You have learned that the first step in developing your social media strategy is defining your goals. We've discussed some of the reasons it's important to set your goals for social media campaigns, and you've learned how to make your campaign goals smart. Coming up, we'll talk about the other important components of a social media strategy. Once you've set the goals for your campaign, the next step in building your social media strategy is defining your target audience. You have learned that your target audience is a group of people most likely to purchase your company's products. In this video, we're going to discuss how to define your social media target audience, the specific group of people you want your company to reach on social media platforms. Your target audience is the people who are most likely to be interested in the content, products, and services you're creating. They are people whose problems you want to solve. Understanding exactly who your target audience is will guide your marketing and help you decide what, where, and when you are going to share content. Targeting a specific audience also helps you determine where your money and time will be best spent. Now let's discuss how to go about identifying your target audience. Your target audience likely shares some common characteristics such as age and location. To determine who your social media target audience is, start by compiling information about your current customers and followers. You may be able to gather some of this information from others in your organization, such as your research department, analysts, or even other marketers. Consider demographic information about your current customers, such as their age. Which decade of life, generation, or stage of life are they in? Are they teens, young adults, parents, or retirees? Location. Where do most of your customers live? This helps you understand which geographical area to target and when you should schedule your social media posts and ads to ensure the best visibility. Language. What languages should you use to communicate with your target audience? Some people might not speak your language or might speak a different language at home than their dominant language in their geographic region. Interests. What do they like to do? What excites them? What do they care about? Needs. What problems are your customers struggling with? What issues do they have that your product or service could help solve? Once you've learned these characteristics about your current customers, assess how people engage with your brand on social media. Think about questions such as, what are people saying about your brand, products, and services? What do they like and dislike about them? Why is your audience following you? What else are they talking about online? Understanding the kind of information people are searching for will help you understand your target audience, identify their needs, and determine how to engage with them on social media. You can use social listening tools to help you find these conversations about your brand on social media. As I mentioned previously, social listening refers to tracking your social media platforms for mentions and conversations about your brand. In the next course, we'll discuss more about how to use social listening to learn about your target audience. Now that you have a sense of who your target audience is and how they're talking about your brand on social media, research what social media platforms they use. To make the greatest impact, you should aim to reach your target audience where they're most active on social media. It wouldn't make sense to post regularly on Pinterest, for example, if your target audience is spending most of its time on LinkedIn. Finally, you can learn a lot about your target audience by observing what the competition is doing. Your target audience likely has some similarities to theirs, so you can benefit from observing their tactics. Consider questions such as, who are your competitors targeting? How are they reaching out to their target audience? What are they doing well and not so well? How often are they posting? Which content formats are they using? When you market to a highly specific target audience, you can develop content that speaks to them. This can help you earn their loyalty. We'll continue exploring how to reach your target audience throughout this course. Reaching your target audience involves crafting the right content and posting at the right time on the right platform. In this video, we'll discuss this last piece, how to choose the best social media platforms for your campaign. This is the next step in developing your social media strategy. It's important to select your platforms carefully for a couple of reasons. The right platform will help you reach your target audience. Posting on a platform that attracts the people who are most likely to be interested in your products or services can drive more traffic to your website. Choosing platforms strategically has another advantage too. You'll spend your time and money focusing on the platforms that are most likely to drive sales or increase traffic, so you'll get better results. But with over 100 social media platforms worldwide and more cropping up each day, how do you choose the best one to market your brand? Let's discuss some of the strategies for choosing social media platforms for your campaign. You can start by learning about the different platforms and how they are used. Previously, we discussed the most popular social media platforms today, what type of content they're known for, and who they appeal to. Spend some time studying the different platforms to understand how they work and how people communicate on them. For example, Twitter has a strong emphasis on real-time information. It also has 280 character limit for messages, unlike most other social media platforms that have a much higher limit. Therefore, Twitter is best for communicating breaking news, posting very brief content, and interacting directly with people in real time. You also want to consider your target audience. Which social media platforms are they most active on? The research you did to define your target audience earlier should be helpful here. Facebook may have more active users than any other platform, but if your target audience is under the age of 25, then you might want to focus more of your efforts on platforms that draw in a younger demographic, like TikTok. Next, think about the goals of your social media campaigns. These should align with the overall goals of your business. Do you want to increase brand awareness, generate leads, increase community engagement? Different platforms offer different advantages and may be better equipped to help you achieve these goals. LinkedIn, for example, is a platform where professionals can post their resume, search for jobs, share their expertise, and network with one another. You might select LinkedIn if one of your goals is to increase your brand authority. You should also consider your company when choosing platforms. Your product and services, brand identity, and business type should all factor into your decision. For example, an art distributor might want to focus on a highly visual channel like Instagram, while a company that produces educational videos might choose a video-based platform like YouTube. Also, pay attention to what platforms your competitors are using. Where are they posting? What are they generating the most engagement? When your competitors are performing well on certain channels, there's a good chance you'll perform well on those channels too. Similarly, if they're having difficulty with engagement on particular channels, you might face the same type of challenges. One more thing to consider when choosing platforms for your social media campaign is your available resources. A social media marketing campaign is a commitment. It takes an investment of time, money, and energy. How many people are available to manage all the platforms that you want to be on? How much time can you dedicate to each platform? What is your budget for advertising across all of your platforms? Different size companies may have different size budgets and marketing teams, so it's beneficial to have a clear understanding of your available resources when selecting your social media platforms. We've discussed why it's important to choose the right platforms for your social media campaign, and we've explored some things to consider when doing so, such as your target audience, goals, and resources. These considerations should help you pinpoint the platforms that will best serve your needs. Hopefully, you've started to understand why creating a strategy is so essential to the success of your social media campaigns. In the previous lesson, you started learning how to develop a strategy for your social media marketing campaign. We discussed how to set goals for your campaign, identify your target audience, and choose the best platforms for your audience and goals. In this lesson, we'll get to the next pillar of social media marketing, planning and publishing your social media posts. Let's start by talking about the different types of content you can publish on social media. For your social media marketing strategy to succeed, you need to produce effective content that generates engagement from your target audience. To do this, your social media content plan should include a variety of content types. When you're developing a social media post, you first need to consider what content bucket the post will fit into. Content buckets are categories to group your marketing content. They are broad themes that are used to achieve a particular goal or to make your customers feel a certain way. These themes address different aspects of your business and target audience. Common social media content buckets include content that is entertaining, educational, inspirational, conversational, and promotional. Let's discuss each. Entertaining content appeals to people who are on the platform to enjoy themselves. It can help your audience relate to your content and your company. Entertaining social media content includes things like viral videos, jokes, comics, contests or giveaways, and memes. A meme is an amusing or interesting item such as a caption, picture, or video that is spread widely online, especially through social media. Educational content can build trust in your brand and position you as an industry leader with information and wisdom to share. Video trainings, infographics, industry research, case studies, FAQs, tips, and how-to posts are popular types of educational content. Inspirational content often features real people using your products or services. This content makes your brand seem more authentic and reinforces your brand's message, values, and vision. To create inspirational content, you might build case studies, find testimonials and quotes, share amazing facts and trivia, and tell personal stories. Conversational content encourages your audience to engage with you. You can begin conversations with your audience by suggesting a topic or viewpoint, then inviting your audience to join the dialogue. You can also ask a question, invite people to complete a poll, have them fill in the blank, or even ask for advice. Promotional content talks about your product and service with the intent of marketing to the current customers and drawing in new followers. Things like coupons, discounts, or free gifts for signups can boost sales and encourage people to buy things that they may not have purchased before. In addition to choosing content buckets for your posts, you need to decide on their format. There are so many different content formats to choose from on social media. Images, videos, written posts, stories, GIFs, links, polls, and the live videos are some of the many content formats that you'll find on social media today. Let's discuss some of the most popular ones. Videos can be a great format for grabbing your audience's attention, and they're easy to consume than a lot of text. With smartphones, capturing videos is easy and convenient, and they're also more engaging than pictures. Video content such as how-to guides, video tours, and product demonstrations can both drive traffic to your website and increase sales. Images are the most frequently posted content types across social media platforms. Unlike most videos, still images can be absorbed instantly. Images give social media users an immediate impression of your brand. Infographics, animated GIFs, captioned photos, and screenshots are some of the many effective ways to use images on social media. Written posts such as articles, blogs, and guides provide your audience with information about your products and services and company. Written content can also be extremely valuable for starting conversations that help you and your customers get to know one another. Stories are images and short videos that last a relatively short amount of time, usually from 1 to 7 days, before disappearing. You can add elements like stickers, filters, and sound to help you creatively express your brand's personality. Use stories to update your audience about events, offers, and other announcements. Live videos enables companies to broadcast conversations, performances, Q&As, webinars, and other virtual events. These live stream events gives audiences a chance to ask questions, comment, and react instantaneously to what they're experiencing. Live viewing also gives people a sense of community. So now you've learned about some common content buckets on social media, such as entertaining, educational, inspirational, conversational, and promotional content. You've also learned some of the formats that are most frequently used on social media, like videos, images, written posts, stories, and live videos. The key to creating effective content is choosing the format that best matches your content bucket. Coming up, we'll talk more about how to plan and publish content on social media.
Hi, I'm Anna, and I'm a Senior Program Manager at Google. I work in Google Developer Studio, and I oversee social strategy for all of our developer-facing accounts. There are about 70 across Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and blogs. The purpose of our social media accounts is to, and really for developer relations at Google, is to make the life of a developer easier. And so we're constantly, changing our technology, making upgrades, having different announcements, and our job in social is to keep people up to date, help answer their questions, and really make sure that they have all the resources they need to do their job. So earned media, the definition is kind of in the name. It is media that you've earned, meaning think about the buzz that you can create that happens organically. It's conversation that's happening out in the wild. It's sort of similar to public relations, where you're not creating that content, but you're influencing a journalist or a blogger to write about you. You're really trying to get people to have a conversation about your brand. If you can get your product to the right influencer and they organically start talking about you, then that can help you create a lot of buzz and generate awareness to a new audience that you wouldn't have been able to reach otherwise. So Google Developer Studio, part of what we do is bring a community of developers together at events. And part of my job is to reach as many of those relevant developers and let them know about the event and the announcements coming from that event. So as the developers are watching our content and having conversations about what they're seeing, then that's exactly what we want, right? This is what we talked about, is that natural buzz that's coming up. With owned media, since you own the channels, you really have the benefit of being as creative as you possibly can get. And you can control the narrative of what's being put out on behalf of your brand, whether that's your personal brand or the business that you're running. You can own your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, your social channels. These are all different distribution networks that you own and control what goes out on them. With paid media, it's guaranteed that you have a specific audience that you want to hit, and you pay to hit that audience. The great thing about paid media is with social networks like Facebook or Instagram, especially for a local business, a small budget can actually help make quite a big impact. And some of the things that we can do with organic media, owned media, is test out the best kind of messaging and creative assets. And when something is starting to percolate and gain traction, you can use paid media to boost that content. And that's really a huge advantage to how you can use your owned channels and make smart decisions about where to put your money using paid. There are so many different social networks, and they each offer different benefits. However, once you've really found your niche and you know where your audience is and you're really owning that channel, the mix of using earned, owned, and paid on that one channel is going to get you much, much further than if you were only using one specific kind of tactic on that channel. So my best advice to somebody who's just getting into social media marketing is to go out there and just do it. And remember that your own channels are a reflection of your brand. If I am looking at someone's resume, I will absolutely go and look at their social media channels and see how are they running them? What sort of content decisions are they making? What sort of eye do they have for photography and creative? So you don't have to have big brand experience to impress me, but I definitely like to see what kind of decisions you make on your own channels and how you've helped other organizations on social media as well.
We've discussed creating a social media strategy, including defining your target audience, choosing the best platforms for your campaign, and different types of social media content you can post. Now we'll talk more about how to effectively plan and publish your posts. In this video, you'll learn how to manage the timing and frequency of your social media posts. Having a consistent presence on social media allows your brand to be seen and discovered by potential customers. However, more is not always better when it comes to publishing on social media. You want to stay in the audience's mind, but you also don't want to post so frequently that you overwhelm their feeds and potentially drive them away. How frequent you post on social media depends on a number of factors. In particular, each platform itself and how it works. For example, Twitter gives its users the option of viewing their posts in a chronological feed. When users customize their feeds in this way, the stream displays the latest published content first. For platforms with chronological feeds, posting multiple times a day gives you the opportunity to reach your target audience in different time zones and at various points throughout their day. If Twitter is a relevant platform for your brand, you might aim to post at least several times a day. You'll need to plan the frequency of your posts differently on platforms that are primarily algorithm-based. Social media algorithms are a way of sorting posts in a user's feed based on relevancy rather than order in which they are published. That means these platforms prioritize which content a user sees in their feed first by the likelihood that they'll actually want to see it. For algorithm-based platforms like Facebook and Instagram, it's better to publish quality content less frequently, as too many posts can result in a drop in engagement. On these platforms, your posting cadence will vary depending on your brand. The frequency that works best for your brand might be once a day, but for others could be several times a week. These are just general guidelines. Finding the best frequency to post will require some trial and error. How often you post should also be informed by testing and analyzing your results and the resources available to you. We will discuss testing and analytics in depth later on in this course. In addition to considering the frequency of your posts, you need to think about their timing. The optimal time to post on a given platform will vary. Posting first thing in the morning is generally very effective because this is when people are catching up on their social media feeds. It's also good to post around lunchtime because people tend to have a gap in their schedules then. Just after working hours is also an effective time to post because people like to find out what they've missed throughout the day. In order to find the best times to post for your brand specifically, you need to consider a number of factors. First of all, you want to find out when your target audience is active online by researching when your followers are on a particular platform and then posting at those times. You maximize the chances that your content will reach them. Make sure you consider your target audience's time zone and schedule a post accordingly. You can also decide when to post by analyzing your best performing posts from the past. Review the times of day and the days of the week you posted successful content to determine if you can identify any patterns. You can gather data about your top performing posts and about your audience's activity online using analytics tools, which we'll discuss in the later course. When determining when to publish content, you should also consider seasons and holidays. For example, consumers tend to be more likely to book a vacation in January. So if you're a travel brand, this is a good time to post appealing images of travel destinations. You should also consider current events when planning your posts. If a national disaster or conflict occurs, for instance, you should be prepared to unschedule posts in order to be sensitive to these events or add a post to show your support. So let's recap what we've discussed about the frequency and timing of your posts on social media. To determine the best time to post on social media, you should consider things like when your target audience is active online, patterns in your best performing posts, and seasons, holidays, and current events. When and how often to post on social media differs for every business and every platform. But by following the best practices we've discussed here and analyzing data, you can optimize your posting schedule to achieve results. Later, we'll discuss social media calendars and how they can help you organize, schedule, and publish all of your posts. As we've discussed, figuring out when and how often to post content is a key component of your social media strategy. Once you've determined the timing and the frequency you'd like to publish content on different platforms, a social media calendar can help you keep all of your posts organized and scheduled. A social media calendar is a calendar of all your social media posts. This tool can help you manage and organize your social media publishing schedule in a variety of ways. A social media calendar enables you to schedule your posts in advance. This saves you time and enables you to maintain a consistent posting schedule. Also, by planning your posts ahead of time, you can make sure that there are no upcoming coverage gaps. A social media calendar allows you to organize all of the content for your posts in one centralized location. It can also help you make sure all of your content assets, such as images, videos, or links, are attached to the correct posts. You can also share your social media calendar with other stakeholders in order to have them review or approve your posts before they go live. And scheduling your posts ahead of time allows you to plan around cultural and national events and holidays that are important to your customers. For example, you might plan posts to celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month, International Women's Day, or Veterans Day, depending on what feels relevant to your organization. This type of calendar can help you avoid major mistakes in your posts. Reviewing your posts in your social media calendar ahead of time allows you to copy, edit, check for spelling errors and typos, fact check, and make sure that all of your links and images are correct. You can build your calendar in a spreadsheet or even a table pasted in a document. You can start with a template. You can even use social media management software to build your calendar. Each entry in a social media calendar usually includes some combination of these elements: the date and time the post will be going live, the topic of the posts, the platform where the posts will be published, the post's written copy, links to any assets such as photos or videos, and any related documents or information. Once you've chosen a format, template, or tool, you can start developing your calendar. You can use these steps to guide you. First, identify the social media platforms you want to post on. Previously, we discussed some strategies for how to do this. Knowing where your audience spend most of their time online can help you decide on platforms and create platform-specific content strategies. Then review your current social media platforms and content. Assess things like what type of posts get the most engagement, when your audience is most active online, and what tactics have been most successful in the past. This will help you identify areas for improvement and new opportunities. Next, decide what data you want your social media content calendar to track. Social media calendars can be used to keep track of information like platforms, dates, times, text, visual assets, and links to published posts. You can later use the data you collect to analyze trends, track what works and doesn't work, and refine your social media campaigns. Then, make a content library for all your assets such as images, videos, and audio files. You can organize your assets in a file storage system like Google Drive or Dropbox and add links to them in a spreadsheet or document. Then you can easily share these links with other team members and insert them into your calendar. You'll also want to establish a workflow and review process. Think about when and how often you'd like to post on each platform. who will review and approve content, and how you will develop new content. Now you're ready to start crafting and scheduling your posts. Getting organized and proactively planning your work can greatly improve the result of your campaigns. And social media calendars are an excellent tool to help you achieve these goals. You'll get to practice creating your own social media calendar a bit later.
Hello, everyone. GMAT GRE. So in most cases, we can get your admission without GMAT GRE. IELTS score requirement is 6 in all module, PT 60, TOEFL 84, Duolingo 105. If you are unable to take your IELTS, PT to TOEFL, and if you want to secure admission, then take Duolingo test, and you can just score 105 and secure your admission. Your PT and TOEFL are also going to come under SDS category from August 10th. So you can submit application under SDS next month. So you can still go with PT or TOEFL overall 83, PT 60. So it can get you visa under SDS category as well, starting from August 10th next month. Gap is any
they have a lot of links in the industry.
In case student is unable to complete co-op, is there any alternate to complete the study through some project or some courses assignments or something of this sort? In case student doesn't get co-op, it happens sometimes with students.
Co-op is already there, only and only there in BCom. It's not there in MBA. Capstone project is there, so there's no restriction. Background experience, no exceptions will be created. A managerial background experience, exceptions will be created. And a student has maybe 10 years of experience or 15 years of experience, and he has been getting promotions, which shows that he was a genuine experience and he was having a good profile throughout. So we will be creating those exceptions for those students.
Okay, so gap can be accepted more than 10 years as well, depending
Yes.
upon the profile.
I have been getting a lot of visas in very few days, maybe 3 days, 5 days, 15 days. I have so many cases with me. But again, to emphasize more, it's MBA, it's a master's degree. It's not a PG diploma. It will obviously have a more visa success rate than any other program. Another thing, there is a program named OINP, right, for PR. So what does that state? That in Ontario, if the student is a master's degree holder or has done PhD, he can be eligible for applying for PR under PNP.
Yeah.
So this is what a master's degree in Ontario. So we will be getting those exceptions. And always a new university, whenever it comes in the market, it has some seat reservations by the
Thank you so much for watching this video till the end.
ratio over here. Now, the way I look at it, I'm not surprised that, again, the market's very undervalued. But once confidence comes back in and the multiples expand back to where they were in the past, and if you look at the GDP growth, and that's why in the long run, it pays more to be in the US markets, because GDP translates a lot more to earnings per share growth and higher stock market returns. So in fact, you can see that in the last 15 years, China's GDP has grown at 500%, whereas an investment in the Chinese Shanghai invest in smaller companies in order to revive startups, startup companies, drive stock prices higher. I saw this chart today. I thought it will drive the market higher in the long run. But again, it doesn't go up in a straight line. Like everything else, it always starts with a bubble, right? And then the bubble bursts, and then you have got the sustainable bull market after that. But are we close to a bubble? Not based on history. So again, you can see that the internet bubble was there, the housing, okay, and you compare it to past bubbles. If you understand, we'll all sell. Old enough, you will remember this. All right. So, average bull market lasts for 5 years. The average cyclical bull market lasts for 5 years, and right now we're only in the 10th month. So we're just at the beginning now. And as I said during the 6-wave webinar, this is not just a normal cyclical bull market. We are actually in a secular bull market that's going to last for at least the next 10 years. Now, what is the difference between cyclical and secular? Cyclical means short-term cycles. Secular means long-term structural bull market. Now, if you take a look at the stock market in the long run, over here you can see that again is divided